This week, I had a pretty big trading mistake and it costed me a lot. Hey everybody, I am Mohammed. I go by Abu Zayt in the Discord, and today I just wanted to discuss what I did wrong this week and what I plan on doing moving forward. I feel that a topic like this, a lot of traders can relate to. A lot of traders struggle maybe giving back too much towards the end of the week, or they start off strong and then end the week, not so good. And obviously, this sort of stuff can take a mental toll on you, but I believe there's also a lesson in this for me, and I believe you as the viewer could also gain something from this. So let's start off with my trading mistake. Now, what was my mistake this week? Pretty much what I struggled with is poor risk management. Now, poor risk management can be split up into a few different categories, being R factor, sizing is one, and that is where I struggled with today. So, what I'm going to take a closer look at in this video is position sizing, mainly my weekly positions, which are a better trade because I have a bit more stats on those. They produce a higher R factor and I have a bit more conviction versus my intraday trades, which when you're trading intraday, you can be dealing with a little bit of noise. And while they still are a decent R, they are definitely not up to par as the weekly trades. So let me pull up my TradeZella so we can take a closer look at this. So here is the trades from last week, and it started off pretty good. So on Sunday, I started off the week with a very solid weekly position, and when we take a closer look at that, this was a weekly position which I was able to grab at an area of interest. It was literally right at the beginning of the week, held my position for about 2 days, and was able to capture 6.78R, which this is a decent sized winning trade. And you know, I don't really have too much to say on it. Obviously, like I said, this is a weekly position for me. I was able to get in close towards the low, so I got in, close towards the Sunday open, and I was able to carry this higher, pretty much capturing, I want to say, maybe close to 80% of the weekly range that crude oil had. Now, where I went wrong. So like I said, we started off the week strong, but where did I struggle? When we take a look at September 17, which was yesterday, what we see here is I took a few losses. Now, I just recently started to trade MES, and the reason I moved to MES is one, I am just trying to expand my horizon and capitalize on sort of the same setups that we have in crude in MES, which, like I said, would just allow me to sort of spread out my horizon and just cover more markets. And yesterday, I mean, I just really struggled with it. I took four full stop outs on this trade. And if there is, if you guys noticed something, the main thing here is when we look at MES, the position sizing, it's $60. It's a steady $60. This one was 70. I needed a little bit more risk on this trade, so I bumped it up a little bit. But what do we notice here? It's very similar to what my total risk was for that weekly position. And that should really not be the case. If you have a high conviction trade, a trade that is an A plus setup, you want to size that a little bit heavier. You should not be trading. You, you should not be trading your A plus trades at the same size as your B and C trades. Now, the thing is, in the moment, trades just look good. It's like it's in an area of interest, it sets up, good R, give it a shot. However, like I said, when you're trading intraday, you're dealing with a little bit of noise. You're dealing with one, you have the random news flow that can come out. Uh, Two, you're putting on these positions which may produce or most likely will produce less R depending on how much risk you're putting on these trades. Obviously, if you have tight risk, then your R factor would be a little bit different. But for me, at least, my daily trades, my intraday trades, are just not producing the R that my weekly trades are. And that doesn't mean I should completely cut out. I should completely cut out my intraday trades because there are times where I can get some really good intraday trades on MES. Like, I had some last week. I can get some good trades on MCL intraday. And really it's the position sizing that's what caught up to me this week. So this is for September 17th. And then when we look at today, I mean, today was just like another struggle. Like, it, it, you know, I was really struggling today and yesterday in the markets in both MES and MCL. And what I'm trying to show here is just the fact that when I'm taking these intraday trades, I am sizing them a little bit too much. And the reason I say that is because, like I said, from my stats, and based on my trading, intraday trades are just sort of like the B trades. The weekly trades, that is where the big money's at. That's like where the payout is at. So going back to sort of the whiteboard and just explaining, where we went wrong, and now taking a look at the solution that I want to do moving forward. And I think in when you sort of see a pattern, or when you see something in your trading, try to flip it on its head. Think outside the box. If you were in my shoes, do you want to give back your entire weekly gains in two intraday, in 2 days, in two intraday sessions? I mean, I would assume the answer is no, because when you're capturing such a large move, especially on a weekly trade, which, like I said, that weekly trade is my main focus, is that weekly trade. And when that's your main focus, everything else should be secondary. And when I say everything else should be secondary, the sizing of that has to match what I'm saying. If it's secondary, it cannot be sized the same way. So what is the solution for me moving forward? Obviously, it's create position sizing. My top setups, which right now are my weekly trades, those need to get max size. So those could get an increase in the lot size and how many lots I'm trading for MCL. And then for intraday trades, this needs to be cut down, because think about it like this. If you have this A plus trade, which produces you a high R, you have stats backed on this trade, why would you want to position that, or why would you want to size that the same exact way as intraday trades, which you're dealing with a little bit more noise, you're you're not getting as much R. Like, why would you do that to yourself? And I don't know why. Obviously, sometimes like simple things we can kind of look over as traders. I obviously looked this over, and it took me, well, it took the situation to happen to me for me to realize this. And this was not the first time it happened. It happened a few months before, and it that time, the last time it happened, I did not give back those gains within the week, but over the next few days, I just gave back those gains trying these, or trading my intraday positions the same size as my weekly positions. So obviously, what is the benefits? So this is a little bit more personal to me. What's the benefits of this, or maybe some of you guys can relate? One, it allows you to increase the amount you're going to capitalize on. because you're pushing, this should say uh because you're pushing the best trades. So your A plus trades, if they work, obviously you're going to get a much higher reward because you have a little bit more risk on the table. And what this also allows for is better risk management, because once you can capture that main trade, that main A plus trade, everything else secondary, like I said. So those intraday trades, you size them lower. And for me, for my example, I'm talking about weekly trades and intraday trades, but this can apply to anything. I mean, this could just apply to the regular, your regular trades. Like say you have two different trade setups, you notice one is a little bit better than the other. Use that to your advantage, because as traders, the slightest amount of edge is what we need. And there's edge in the way you position, the way you size your trades. So, like I said, this is going to allow me to, one, increase the amount capitalized because you're pushing those best trades, and it's going to allow for better risk management because, in my case, I won't give back as much on the weekly trades. So, that's really what I wanted to cover for today. This is a little bit of a different format from what Rob has been doing. Rob has been doing the daily recaps of the overnight session, the RTH session. If you haven't seen those videos, I suggest you check them out. Rob is doing a great job on those videos. And for me, I just kind of, it's midweek or it's really towards the end of the week. I I screwed up. To be honest, I screwed up. And I'm saying that for one, accountability, transparency, and for you guys to take away something from this video, for you guys to see like, okay, I'm having this problem in my trading. Let me flip it on its head. Let me ask questions, because you need to ask the right questions when you're trading, especially when you're trying to gain that slightest amount of edge. So that's pretty much all I had. I hope this video was of some help to you guys. I hopefully you guys gained something from it, and that's pretty much all I had to cover for today. And yeah, I'm signing out, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care.